StrayAllDay.com.
Now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get to use those personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of wait for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques, all underneath the umbrella of one unified philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is, we're going into part two of speed increasing habits. If you didn't hear yesterday's episode, just kindly go back to yesterday so you understand the framing of where this is coming from, why we're talking about it, so you know that we are picking up right where we left off. I don't need to give any more intro to this, but before I even get into it, I remind everybody, I send out a text message every single day, guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point. I also send one out every week that does the same thing. They're called the Daily Motivation and the Monday Motivation, respectively. You can get both of them by being a member of my text community. All you got to do that is text me. My number is 305-384-6894. And when those messages go out, you as a member of my text community, you'll have the option of receiving them. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. That is the only place that I do any coaching interview. Would like to work with me directly. That's the only way to do it. All you got to do that is go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Again, workonyourgameuniversity.com. We have a 4-part framework of what we do there that is based on mindset, strategy, systems, and accountability. Anyone who I work with, those are the 4 areas that we mostly are focused on. Now, those can apply to your personal life. They can apply to your business life. Our coaching is not limited to any specific industry or type of individual. But if you feel that you're connecting with how I do things, how I deliver, the things that I'm talking about, and we are, you connect. There's a word that is escaping me right now. I should have this word at the tip of my tongue, but it's escaping me right now. But if you feel that the way I deliver and the things that I talk about and my approach and my mindset, which you cannot read my mind, but you can tell just by the things that I say. That's why one of the reasons why I do the show every day. So you can get a pretty good feel for who I am. You feel I would be a good fit for what you need, and you might be a good fit for what we do. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com and we'll take it from there. You can schedule a call with us, see where you're at, where you want to go, and if we can help you, we'll talk about it. All that out the way, let's get into today's topic, which is again part 2 of 2, speed increasing habits. We're picking up point number 4. We did 1 through 3 yesterday. Number 4, timers and stopwatches. Now I mean this one literally. Timers and stopwatches. Why do you need a timer or a stopwatch? Why? Because you need to give yourself finite time frames for the activities you are doing. What is a finite time frame? Finite time frame means, okay, I got 30 emails in my inbox. I need to clear my inbox and get it down to inbox 0. I got 30 minutes to get through these 30 emails. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to read. You need to read and respond to all 30. Maybe you just need to open some, look at it, and get rid of it. Maybe some of them are spam. Maybe some of them need to delete. The whole point is giving yourself a time frame for which you're going to get things done. It's not just as long as it takes. No. The only things in your life and your day that should be on an as long as it takes time frame they need to be money skills. They need to be the skills that make all the money for you. If it's not one of those, then there is no finite time frame. There is no finite time frame. When I'm doing my preparation for let's say I'm preparing my protein shake for the next day and getting my AG1 bottle ready for the next day, I give myself about 6 minutes to get that whole thing prepped because I know how long it takes. I actually prepped it once with no interruptions, and I timed myself. I said this took about 6 minutes. Okay, so I got 6 minutes to do that. That's my time frame. And you need to do this with the things that you're doing so that things do not start to leak and stretch into taking up more time than they need to take. If you need to read 5 pages of a book a day, you just need to turn the timer on, see how long it takes you to read 5 pages. Okay, now that's your baseline for how long you get to read those 5 pages. Everyone understand? When I make a reel, any of you follow me on social media, see the little reels that I do on the whiteboard. And by the way, those of you who've been following me on Facebook and see I haven't updated my Facebook page in months, is because the Facebook page got hacked. Now, they haven't posted anything on the page, but I actually don't have access to that page as of today's recording. But I am working on getting access back. In case any of you didn't know, reaching Facebook when a page has been hacked is a complete pain in the ass, and their systems are completely unhelpful in doing this. But I know some people who know some people who know some people who could possibly get it done for me for a fee, of course, but we're working on that. So any of you who follows me on Facebook sees I haven't updated my page in a while, not because I blocked you or it's not because I stopped using Facebook. It's just because the page got hacked. But we're working on it. Anyway, you follow me on social media, see the little reels that I do where I'm standing in front of my whiteboard and I'm explaining something and I got the points written out. I give myself a certain frame of time to get that done. I usually give myself about 10 minutes to do it because I would record it and then I would do a little bit of editing and then I would post it on all the social platforms. But now I have some software that can do some things for me, and I also have an assistant who takes care of those things. Well, an assistant is now responsible for taking care of those things. So now it takes me less time. The time it takes to record is like 1 to 2 minutes. And then all I have to do is send it to my software app. And then I just send a message to my assistant like, hey, I just put a new video in there. Go ahead and take care of that. And then it's done. So for me, the actual elapsed time is usually like 3 to 5 minutes. The whole point is I give myself a timer. I give myself a certain amount of time to get it done. It's just not, it takes as long as it takes. No. No more of that. Any of you doing that, don't do that anymore. You watch any of my live streams as of this recording over the last couple of weeks or months, sometimes I'll even say when I'm recording, I say, let me start my clock here when I start recording because I give myself a certain amount of time on that live stream. I'm not going to be here all day because most of the topics that I'll talk about, even a topic like this one right here, I could talk for hours on this if I wanted to with no notes. I could just talk about it because I care about the topic. I have some information and experience on the topic, and I know that people need to hear about this topic. And I also can go off of, if I'm doing a live stream, especially, I can see how many people are paying attention. Are people engaging? Are people responding to things I'm saying? Okay, now keep going. If people are not responding, then I end it and I end it sooner. But the whole point is to give myself a finite amount of time because I could easily go on a tangent and talk for an hour straight if I wanted to, depending on the topic. So instead, I give myself a limit. All right, I'm gonna do this live stream for 10 minutes. So I'm gonna do a 15-minute or a 20-minute live stream. That way, I get done when I'm supposed to get done, and I still have time to get to other important things that need to get done. So every single thing you do in your day, folks, you should put a time limit on it. Yes, you heard me. Every single thing you do in your day, put a time limit on it. And I'm sending a message to my assistant because there's something that I forgot to tell her that I'm thinking about right now while I'm talking to you all. Okay, put a time limit on every single thing that's going on, specifically with the personal and business things you do. All right, this is why you need this time limit, because you get the exception. The only exception I'll give you is when you're spending time with your loved ones. So you're spending time with your significant other or your kids, then you don't necessarily have to have a time limit on that. But even that can have a limit too. Now, it doesn't have to be a limit on what exactly you're doing, but there has to be a limit on it because eventually you got to get back to your other stuff. The purpose of the time limit is to create urgency within you to get things done within a certain amount of time and to hold yourself accountable to getting them done within a certain amount of time. And when you have that urgency, usually you get them done. See, you don't let things just take as much time as they take. And many of you operate with this, mentality and this strategy, if you even want to call this a strategy, every single day. And then you're faced with the challenge of, well, I don't have enough time to get everything done that I want to get done. Boy, there's the reason. The reason is right there. Is the fact that you're not limiting how much time you get to get the other stuff done. That's why you're not getting to the rest of the things. So if you limit how much time you get to get things done, then I guarantee you'll find yourself being more productive and knocking more things off that ever expanding to-do list that you shouldn't be focusing on anyway. You should be focused on the done list. See, the done list expands when you start giving yourself time parameters. You give yourself a to-do list, then, and especially with no time parameters, all right, this is how the to-do list keeps getting bigger and bigger, but you're not making any significant progress. Okay. So your time being limited itself, your ability to step up your effectiveness is not limited. So you can be as effective as you want to be. So if it usually takes you 30 minutes to get a certain thing done, see if you can get it done in 20 minutes. Put 20 minutes on the clock. Push yourself to get that down to 20. So now you just bought yourself 10 extra minutes. Because let's look at it this way. If you had a boss who was demanding that you got that thing done in 20 minutes that it normally takes you 30, would you figure it out? Of course you would. Okay, of course you would figure it out. The boss said you got 20 minutes to get this done, but it's something that you normally get done in 30 minutes. You would figure it out. I remember being on a basketball team sometimes, and on defense, you have this, they call it a help and recover on defense. So we got any basketball players or coaches listening to this, you know what help and recover means. It's like if one of your teammates is playing defense against a guy who has the ball and you are on the court, but the guy you're guarding specifically doesn't have the ball, but your teammate's guy has the ball. You had to put yourself in what we call help position. And help position means positioning yourself such that the ball handler on the other team doesn't have a clear path to the basket. You put yourself in position so they can't get there to the basket easily. So maybe your teammate got beat, or maybe your teammate is they're kind of in an even matchup. So you want to kind of tilt the odds in the favor of your team. So you put yourself in help position so that ball handler can't just go by your teammate and score. At the same time, if you're a teammate, the guy that he's guarding was to pass the ball to your guy that you're guarding, you also have to recover. Thus the phrase help and recover. You put yourself in help position, and then if the ball gets passed to the guy you're guarding, you got to recover back to your guy and make sure that your guy does not get a wide open shot because of your help position. What's the word? Commitment. So you committed to helping, but you also got to get back and recover so that your man doesn't stay open. Now, this is a daunting task. The first time that you realize what the task is, you're like, damn, wait, I got to do this and this? And the coach is like, yes, you got to do both. You got to be in help position so that your teammate doesn't get beat to the rim for a layup or a dunk. And you got to get back into recovery position so that your guy that you're guarding doesn't get a wide open 3-point shot. And you got to do both. And when you realize the task, it's like, damn, I got to cover all this ground, and I can't let my teammate get beat, and I can't let my guy get an open shot. Damn, this is a lot of work. There's a lot of work playing defense. And the whole point is, well, the first time that I realized this, I'm using all this as an analogy, is that you realize that you could do this if you're being forced to do it. Because if the coach says this is what you got to do, and if you mess it up, well, guess what? You ain't going to be playing because you're going to be sitting on the bench because I can't trust you to play defense the right way. Well, guess what? You figure out how to do it. All of a sudden, you develop the ability to do this thing that you thought it was impossible for you to do. You thought that you couldn't do it, but as soon as it's mandated that you get it done, you get it done. So this whole point of you taking a task that usually takes 30 minutes and getting it done in 20 or 15 minutes is not about you running around like a chicken with his head cut off or putting you deeper into tactical hell and that you're just putting out fires all the time. It's all about condensing time frames. So this is really about your mindset. Is not so much about the specific task. Mindset is, how do I shave time off of this task so that I can get more done in less time? All right. And newsflash, folks, you are the boss. So if your boss told you to do this, you can figure it out. Well, guess what? You're the boss, especially you entrepreneurs. Number 5, today's topic, once again, we're talking speed increasing habits. Number 3, do it now. All right. This was a saying that I think I mentioned this a couple episodes ago. Entrepreneur named W. Clement Stone. He would tell himself this every single morning: do it now. He wrote a book called The Success System That Never Fails. If you haven't read that book, look it up. That was his mantra, Mr. Stone, for acting with speed and urgency and not putting things off until later. And those are good ideas that all you should pick up. Speed, urgency, and don't put things off till later. Do it now. And Mr. W. Clement Stone's business was worth billions of dollars even back as early as the 1970s. It was a lot more money in today's dollars than it was in the 1970s. He would be today on the Forbes list with the value of what his company was. Now, while I understand there are certain things we may not always be able to do immediately, there are many other things that we put off until later that we should be doing immediately. So, yes, there are certain things you can't do immediately, but there are certain things you could and should do immediately. So we do a whole lot of procrastinating and delaying that is completely unnecessary. We do a lot of procrastinating and delaying that is completely unnecessary. And I would venture to guess that in the last 24 hours, you have procrastinated and delayed on multiple things that you have no logical explanation for procrastinating or delaying on. Am I right or wrong? In the last 24 hours, you procrastinated and delayed on a couple of things that there's no logical reason for you to procrastinate or delay because you have the resources, you have the mind, and you know those things need to get done. You just didn't do them. Why? This procrastination and delay, folks, what it does is add time to a situation. The whole point here of yesterday's and today's episode is about you condensing and removing time from the situation. So instead of adding time, which is what most people do, procrastination, delay, doing it later, waiting, thinking about it, I'm suggesting that you condense time, do it now, speed, urgency, time limits. Everyone understand this? Good. Point number 6. Today's topic, once again, is speed increasing habits. Number 6, done lists. I already told you about the done list. I think the episode on the done list has already come out by the time you all hear this. That was episode number 2732. So just about a week or two ago was the done list. the whole episode on the topic that I just referenced. Instead of just focusing on the to-do list, all the stuff you need to do, which is often a list of minutia level things that make you feel productive but are actually doing very little, here's the new focus. Focus on a done list. That's a list of completed tasks that move things forward in your life. So understand these are not just any tasks. These are the tasks that move things forward in your life. What actually will move me forward? Or for you to be clear on what's moving you forward, you got to be clear on where you're trying to go. What does forward mean for you? Moving forward mean making more money? Does it mean spending more time with your kids? Does it mean you getting in better shape? What does forward mean? When you're clear on what moving forward means, then you can be clear on which tasks are actually helping you achieve that outcome. But if you're not clear on what moving forward looks like, then you can't make a decision. So that's what the done list is about. What is moving you forward? What this has to do with speed, folks, is that the more you can see yourself taking steps forward and you can see it, you can objectively look at it and say, I moved forward today because I did this, this, and this. The faster it will feel like you're moving because you know you're moving forward, and your relative experience of time will slow down. Thus, you get to live more life within your limited time frame. Your relative experience of time, not the absolute experience. Absolute experience is 1 minute is 1 minute, 1 hour is 1 hour. The relative experience is, what does the passage of your time feel like? Does it feel like you're moving forward fast in life? Usually that happens when we're doing things that have us in our flow, when we're doing things that we're actually good at, when we are achieving outcomes and we're actually getting things done that move us closer to our goals. Usually we feel like things are moving fast in that time, and it feels great because time actually slows down for us, and it feels like we remember each moment. And the more moments we remember in our lives, the slower our experience of life is. But when we're not really moving forward, we're not really in the flow, things just seem to be stagnated and not really doing anything, then time just goes and goes and goes. Like a year goes by, 2 years go by, 6 months go by, and we can't tell the difference between one day and the next simply because nothing is changing. Nothing's different. We're doing the same stuff. We're stagnated. We're stuck. This is what happens with a lot of people when one of the reasons is you're focused too much on small things that do nothing. You're moving way too slowly, and you are compounding the situation by adding time to situations. Every situation in your life, you add time to it. You procrastinate, you delay, you move slowly. So if you want time to go slower and your relative experience of time to feel faster, then what you need to do is follow these points that we talked about yesterday and today. This allows you to have more life lived within your lifetime. So let's recap the last 3 points from today's masterclass, which is part 2 of 2 on speed increasing habits. Number 4, timers and stopwatches. And I mean this one literally. That means give yourself a certain amount of time to get tasks done and push yourself, hold yourself accountable to getting them done in that time frame, not just randomly doing stuff. Number 4, do it now. W. Clement Stone would say this to himself every single day: do it now. He was a very successful businessman who had the mindset of always doing things now. Many of us have bad habits of procrastinating and delaying, and for completely unnecessary reasons. So if you just start holding yourself accountable to just getting things done now, even when you don't feel like doing them, that is what's going to separate you from the average masses of people and maybe the average version of yourself that you might be mired in living right now simply because you're moving too slow. Number 6, done list instead of to-do list. We did a whole episode on this topic already. So instead of just focusing on a to-do list, there's often a bunch of minutia level things that feel productive but don't really matter. Instead of focusing on a done list of things that actually matter, not done lists of small stuff, but things that actually matter. It doesn't have to be a whole lot of things. If you're doing a bunch of things that matter, you only got to get a few of them done to really feel the speed of the movement of your life, which allows your relative experience of time to be slower and allows you to live more life within the lifetime you have. All that said, make sure you text me so you're in my text community. My number is 305-384-6894. Daily motivation, Monday motivation coming out every day and every week, respectively. Also, workonyourgameuniversity.com. That is the place where I do all my coaching. It's the only place you can work with me directly. Only place you can access Bulletproof Mindset, Work on Your Game System, Business Builder Framework, and the Next Mission Process. Our 4-part framework is based on mindset, strategy, systems, and accountability. That's all at workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre, all